For those of you who are still on social media, in recent weeks you've probably noticed some extra noise on your feeds. People walking around department stores trashing displays of Pride merchandise. A false tweet claiming that Target was selling Satan-themed children's T-shirts. Videos of bulldozers destroying piles of Anheuser-Busch products. Or maybe your timeline was blessed with the video of Kid Rock opening fire on cases of Bud Light with an assault rifle. This is just some of the backlash thrown at Target and Bud Light for relatively small LGBTQ initiatives. With Pride Month upon us, the far-right hysteria over rainbows and equality is in full swing. But it's all just noise, static at best. Because the anti-LGBTQ hate radiating from some corners of the conservative sphere does not reflect the feelings of the American public. GLAAD, the world's largest LGBTQ media advocacy organization, released its annual Accelerating Acceptance study, finding that universally heterosexual Americans overwhelmingly agree that LGBTQ people should live freely. They should be able to live their lives and not be discriminated against. 96% of non-LGBTQ Americans agree that schools should be a safe and accepting place for all youth. 84% support equal rights for the LGBTQ community. 70% agree that companies should publicly support the LGBTQ community through hiring practices, advertising, and/or sponsorships. But while society has come a long way in accepting gay and lesbian people, the GLAAD study recognizes there is still work to do when it comes to understanding and accepting trans folks. 50% of non-LGBTQ Americans say non-binary and transgender people are new or unfamiliar to them. Only 28% of non-LGBTQ Americans say they personally know a transgender person. Now, it's clear that Americans overwhelmingly support the LGBTQ community and its right to exist peacefully, which is why the targeted attacks on the rights of LGBTQ Americans seems like a losing political strategy. Yet just in the last year alone, Republican lawmakers have introduced more than 500 anti-LGBTQ bills into state legislatures, according to the Equality Federation. A majority of those measures take aim at transgender youth. They range from bans on gender-affirming care for minors to not allowing trans kids to play on sports teams that align with their gender identity to bills that weaken or undermine non-discrimination laws. This is just not popular policy. Take a look at the 2022 midterms. You could say that there was a rainbow wave. A record 340 LGBTQ candidates won their elections across the country, according to the Victory Fund, while many candidates with anti-LGBTQ stances were rejected. Americans want gay and lesbian, trans, and non-binary people to be able to live their lives, and yet some Republican lawmakers are choosing to focus their attention on deciding who looks feminine or masculine enough to use certain bathrooms, and shutting down drag shows and taking medically necessary health care away from children. It is all just noise until it gets so loud that the rhetoric turns into legislation that hurts LGBTQ Americans. Might I suggest turning down the volume and listening to the American people, because the loudest person in the room is rarely the smartest or the strongest.